Good morning, everybody. Hello.
Hi, Shola. Good morning.
Good
Happy
morning.
Tuesday. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Yeah, it's been a good day so far here.
Super.
Good morning. But what about you? How's the day been, and how's it going with the PM2?
Um, Today it's been really good. Uh, Definitely love knowing that I need to check out my stats in the PM tool right before the call. That's actually been a prompt of mine, like at least like a minute or two, like 5 minutes, like habit sacking, James Clear style. So like 5 minutes
Yeah.
before this call, I make sure that I look at the stats. So that's been good. The other thing is that I've really been moving forward with my reading, and the third thing is that yeah, I've been making some headway with my outreach, and it's only anecdotal, but I feel like as my content schedule has been increasing, um,
Yeah.
I having people reach out to me. And I even have had some people join the mailing list now, which is
Okay.
feeling really good, right? Like the momentum. The big win between
Yeah.
yesterday and today is that I had the interview go really well with
Mm-hmm.
someone that I think I'm going to bring on board. I interviewed two people, and basically it was like I wanted to let the results of the two interviews dictate to me who I was going to
Yeah.
move forward with. So I thought I was going to be the first candidate, ended up being the second candidate, and I already like paid her for the initial project. So it's good to have
Mm-hmm.
that in the books because I was on the books for a while, right?
Yeah.
To start delegating some stuff after the off button. I would say the main thing that I think I want to focus on. Well, there's a lot. The list of to dos that I posted yesterday is probably going to last for 2 weeks. But one of the things
Okay.
that I want to start leaning into a little bit more is using my content templates. So the big analogy that probably makes sense is that comedians feel it's comedians seem like they always have something witty to say, right? But that's just because they
Mm-hmm.
have content templates, right? So it's like
Yeah.
the whole idea is that I want to, even within my conversational content, I kind of want to have a structure for it. So as an example, one kind of content template is to mention a framework called the old way versus the new way. So when you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about any big idea, it's always helpful to frame for the listener what the old way versus the new way is, because the contrast creates a powerful visual for somebody, right? So, as an example, just me having this really quick conversation with you, I could say like the old way of thinking about producing content as a thought leader on social media is to come up with a list of ideas you vet from someplace else and then sit down and create those videos. The new way is the new conversational content method that I'm using speaking with you, which is that
Yeah.
you just have natural language conversations with people, and then big ideas bubble to the surface as a result of talking to really interesting conversational partners. So what I've just done is have um, a conversational content session with you, but I'm using one of the templates, which is the old way and the new way, right? So I want to have about 4 or 5 of those kind of templates. And every time I go to have a conversation with someone, I can use it to like structure the conversation, not only so that I get the most out of it, but also when eventually is recorded and we repurpose the content, then it's easy to just get really good clips out of it. So there you have it. The conversational content and one of the frameworks is the old way versus the new way.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Do you? So you're planning on producing like a few templates, right? To have like you were saying, like 5 or 6.
Yeah, I want to remember them. So actually, one of the things that as you asked me that question, and sidebar, you just like your follow up questions. You really are in your zone of genius with your follow up questions because I get the sense that they come very organic to you, and I get the sense sometimes you don't really realize how useful they are, and that's just part of like what makes something your zone of genius. Like you just do it easily. So I just want to give you that compliment for the day. That's the only compliment. Yeah, but to answer your question, I think that probably until I have them memorize like second nature, and this is a best practice that I can kind of share with you and for anybody who listens to this. I probably need to write them down and just have them next to my desk so that I can read them off. And not necessarily read them off and recite them, but so I see like as a reference. And so eventually, after I've used them so many times, I can have a natural conversation with someone and the right quote unquote conversational content template based upon our exchange will pop up in my head, right? Another conversational content template is analogies, right? So people tend to just really get analogies in um, in general. So I just want to know, I just want to have like 4 or 5 of those. And if you play your cards right, you could use like 4 or 5 different templates in the same vein or same conversation. Allow me to use analogy, right? So a really good uh, a musician might know like 4 or 5 like um, kind of scales, or let's just say riffs from songs, and it's like you can put them in a jam session, and because they know 4 or 5 like kind of standard riffs or chords, they can just string along those 4 or 5 different like chords, and you have common chords in different songs, right? And so it's like if you know 4 or 5 common chords that might appear in 10 really famous songs, then it's like it's almost like you know how to play those 10 famous songs by just knowing that one chord. And it's like you can string together those different like common chords, and you can have a jam session where it looks like you're just playing spontaneously, but really just learn those common chords and you learn to string those together. And that's kind of like the essence of innovation, just taking something that's worked before and combining it together. So I hope that I think you told me that you come from an artistic background. So when I use these analogies that pull in things that are happening in art, they really resonate with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like I come from a like musical background, so
Yeah.
I can confirm that it is absolutely like this.
Yeah.
That you have something in your mind already, and
Right.
then based on that, you end up doing something different. So you end up innovating, but you do have a reference in your mind.
Yeah. And I hope to add value to the marketplace, because I think that a lot of people see like art and this like logical business stuff as two often opposing views of the world, but there's so much that's in common. So the theme for me this week is that I just want to start practicing using these like conversational content templates. And the whole idea is that the more I use them, the videos will get just keeping better and better. And I'm starting to get like comments on the videos, which are helpful, because then that also tells me like what I should be leaning more into. Or like to use the analogy again, like you could just be in front of an audience and you can start playing certain songs and they're not really resonating, but maybe you might start playing some like 80s pop, and the crowd goes wow, and you're like, okay, we need more of this. So that the same kind of exchange happens like when you're creating content for an audience. There's no difference. So I'm really excited about it. And the last thing I want to say, which you've been a good part of, is that I got a comment yesterday about the consistency with which I've been producing content from a YouTuber that's pretty well respected. And I'm just saying that us deciding at the beginning of the year that I was going to be like using my sessions with you not only to keep me focused, but I'm already having really great conversations where I have an expert asking me great questions, and to just capture it has just been a game changer. So I really I continue to be happy about the return on my investment. I'm saying that for you and my audience. That you're my secret weapon. I call you Mr. A. You're my secret weapon. Yeah, I definitely get it.
Mr. A, I think it adds a lot of fascination.
Exactly. Exactly. So the main thing
thank you, Sean. I'm really glad that
I'm sorry, please continue.
yeah, And I'm super glad to hear that, and to hear that it's bringing you value, and like it evolves in the way it's bringing you value. I mean, our partnership, right? So
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that.
Yeah, me too.
Last question for today: what are you committing to do?
So today is a heavy meeting day. So I'm just going to upload some videos. Like I'll commit to 5. Like that's super under promising, but I'll probably over deliver. And yeah, I think that's just the main thing. I want to. I think I need to. I need to. The next 2 to 3 weeks are going to be really busy for me. So I think the main thing I'll commit to is I'll upload 5 5 videos to be published. And then also too, I think I want to commit to spending 15 minutes thinking about how I want the next like 2 to 3 weeks to go before I travel abroad. So those are the 2 things that I commit to for day, and I'll have that available by tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Good. Perfect. Taking note of this, I'll also send them in the chat, of course. But that's it. We covered everything for today, Shola. We'll see tomorrow how today went. But in the meantime, enjoy your day.
Thank you so much. Take good care. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
So that's an example of my morning call and strategy call situation room, as it were, and it keeps me focused and consistent. And the one thing that I learned from my investment in working with this, you call them CEO coach, founder coach, peak performance coach, is that there's no I in team, right? So some people think, well, I don't need to pay somebody to keep me focused and consistent. Okay, well, have you been focused and consistent? If you haven't, then you need to make it a team effort, right? I love using the example of tennis. Tennis seems to be a very individual versus team sport, right? But the reality situation is a really good tennis player is a result of a team, a collaboration between her and her sometimes multiple coaches. Like you might have a serving coach and a line coach, right? So what the end result, what you see on the court, is a result of a group effort, and that's how it's been with me investing in building up my team. That just helps me to produce like consistency and focus at higher and higher levels. And the takeaway for today is about that consistency and focus, but the takeaway is also about the power of like having templates for anything you do consistently. And so that's why I talked about uh, templates for the quote unquote conversational content, because when people think of content, they think of something that's super organic and spontaneous. But if you do it right, just like a comedian on a stage doesn't look like they have just sat down for hours and written jokes. They're just having a conversation and exchange with the audience. But a good comedian has spent hours refining and defining their jokes. And so I continue to think that basically, if you're going to have the capacity to influence people by creating media that's distributed across platforms with the potential to um, connect with millions, then you got to basically see it as you're becoming a very well trained public speaker. And that comes from practice and that comes from preparation. And so I introduced one template today, which is the old way versus new way template, content template, conversational content template. Another one is using analogies. And because I just love music, I pretty much use these things as an appendage to me. I want to be a lot more deliberate about sucking in, bringing in music and art analogies to conversations, just because it's something that's a part of me. And ideally, I'll probably have like 5, maybe at most 7. Why 7? Because there's a reason why, for instance, phone numbers are 7 minus the zip code. I think there's some data, some science behind the number of uh, digits or whatever, or things in a row that a human being can remember without it taking extra effort. So I think if I can have 5 to 7 conversational content templates, first having it near my desk, but eventually after reading them over and over again, I'll commit them to memory, and I think it'll make it super easy to have a conversation that feels organic, but at the same time, when it's eventually um, put in an archive and maybe repurposed for the purpose of expanding a digital content category catalog, uh, uh, when you really think about it as like marginal content, you you'll be able to take snippets of the raw content, which this live stream is, and turn it into really solid content pieces. So there are things that I want to get right, but I'm not letting I'm not, what is it? Not, what's this phrase? Don't let the good be, don't let perfection be the enemy of the good, or don't let good be the enemy of perfection. In other words, don't let the desire for perfection stop you from doing what is good enough now. Good enough now is better than perfect in the future, because the future hardly ever happens. And so eventually I will get better with just the organic conversations. That means removing things like pauses, ums, and ahs. Then there are other things that enhance your ability to communicate with your audience, which is your body language, right? Then there is audio, then there is lighting, right? So, and then there's like the set, right? So I'll just start off getting really good at one aspect of things, and then when I feel like that is like grade A, then I'll move to changing the other things, and eventually what will come about is content that is better and better for those that consume it. So this is Shola. Take care and take action. Bye bye.